Revelation 3769. From the 13th of May 1946. Activity of the light beings on a divine mission. To stand in the light means to call true knowledge one's own, to possess a wealth of thought which is of divine origin, which has God Himself as its source, who is the eternal light, the eternal truth Himself. Thus the spiritual being full of light is in intimate contact with God, constantly receives His emanation and is therefore in the state of brightest realization. And this is a state which is exceedingly blissful, for to possess wisdom from God in order to know His will, His rule and activity, His plan from eternity, is a state of freedom, a state which stimulates the utmost development of strength and determines every spiritual activity carried out by the beings of light. And activity is life. A life of greatest abundance of light is therefore the lot of beings who have intimately united themselves with God through love. And thus, if the light, the pure truth from God, is already accessible to people on earth, the person who acquires this eternal truth through a God-pleasing way of life can also already live on earth in bliss, for he, too, has ended the dark spiritual state which is part of the human being who is distant from God, who lives without love and therefore also without connection with God. The earthly human being cannot yet fully appreciate the blessing of light, and the more he lives in darkness the less he respects the light. He feels at ease in darkness until a glimmer of light has touched him. And this can only happen through loving activity, otherwise the human being is not receptive for the radiation of light from the spiritual kingdom, which emanates indirectly from God but is supplied by the beings of light on His behalf to people in need of light who do not escape the light. The truth from God is something quite delicious. Yet it remains veiled until the heart is shaped by loving activity such that it can recognize the truth. Only then is the truth delightful, and only then do the rays of light take effect, that is, they illuminate people's thinking, they make the human being free and aware of his task and his destiny. The brightness will always make people happy, and therefore it is the light being's constant endeavor to spread light, that is, to convey the truth to all those who still walk in spiritual darkness. However, the truth cannot be distributed without a corresponding willingness to receive it, and it is up to every person himself how he relates to the bearers of truth in the spiritual world. It is up to every person to make himself receptive to light through loving activity, because no person can be led to the light, that is to the truth from God, by force. But he will be given every possible help to come into possession of it if only he is of good will. Amen.